You've been lied to about strength. Not directly, not aggressively, but quietly over years. You were taught that being smart means being weak, that being strong means being simple, that you must choose one side, mind or body, thinker or doer. But history never worked that way. The most dangerous men who ever lived were never divided. They were complete. Miyamoto Musashi understood this before the world forgot it. He was not just the deadliest swordsman in Japanese history. He was a strategist, an artist, a philosopher, and that combination made him untouchable. This is the truth most people never face. You are not operating at full capacity. Not because you lack talent, not because you lack intelligence, but because half of you has been neglected. You train your mind but ignore your body, or you train your body but never sharpen your thinking. Either way, you live divided, and division is weakness. Musashi believed something radical. A sharp mind trapped in a weak body becomes hesitant. A strong body without discipline becomes reckless. Only integration creates dominance. This is stillness and direction. This channel is not about motivation or hype. It is about ancient methods that build modern strength. If you want to become dangerous in the right way, subscribe. And if you're tired of living below your potential, press like now, not for the algorithm, but as a commitment to yourself. Now listen carefully. Musashi never trained for appearance. He trained for presence. He climbed mountains in winter. He lived in caves. He trained with two swords when others used one. Not to look impressive, but to harden his body until his mind could trust it. Because the mind only dares what the body can survive. Modern people don't realize this. They overthink because their body isn't prepared to act. They hesitate because their nervous system collapses under pressure. They feel anxiety not because they are weak, but because their system is incomplete. Musashi solved this. He built his body until stress no longer felt like an emergency. And when stress disappears, clarity appears. That is the secret. Strength is not muscles. Strength is calm under pressure. Intelligence is not knowledge. Intelligence is correct action at the right moment. Musashi fused both. That is why he never lost, and that is why his method matters today more than ever. In the next section, you'll see how a modern man living a successful life was actually operating at half capacity, why intelligence alone failed him when pressure arrived, and how Musashi's principles shattered the lie he was raised on. The man's name was Kenji. On paper, he was successful. Good education, stable career, respect from others. But the moment pressure entered his life, everything cracked. When conflict appeared, he avoided it. When decisions became heavy, he delayed them. When life demanded courage, he relied on thinking instead of action. Kenji believed he was being careful. Musashi would have called it weakness. Because intelligence without physical grounding creates hesitation. Kenji's body had never been trained to tolerate stress, so his mind compensated by overthinking. Planning replaced action, analysis replaced commitment, and the more he thought, the more fragile he became. Musashi warned about this exact condition. He believed a soft body creates a noisy mind. When the body cannot handle discomfort, the mind invents excuses, not lies, justifications. Kenji didn't feel afraid, he felt reasonable. And that is the most dangerous state, because reason can defend cowardice perfectly. Musashi trained the opposite. He deliberately exhausted his body, cold, hunger, fatigue, not to suffer, but to teach his nervous system one thing: this is survivable. Once the body learns that stress does not equal death, the mind stops panicking. clarity replaces fear. Kenji never experienced this, so pressure always felt urgent. Every challenge felt personal. Every risk felt dangerous. Musashi removed urgency by hardening the body first. This is why modern self-improvement fails so often. People try to think their way into strength. Musashi trained his way into calm. He knew that courage is not a thought, it is a physical state. When the body is stable, the mind becomes decisive. Kenji didn't need more information, he needed integration. Body and mind working together. That is where real strength begins. In the next section, you'll learn how Musashi trained discipline without motivation, why routine mattered more than passion, and how consistency, not intensity, made him unstoppable. Musashi never waited for motivation. He distrusted it, because motivation rises and falls with comfort, and comfort creates inconsistency. Musashi built discipline instead. Not discipline driven by emotion, but discipline driven by structure. Every day followed a pattern. Wake before sunrise, train while the body resisted, practice when progress was invisible, repeat without negotiation. There was no debate inside his head. Training was not a decision, it was a condition of being alive. This is where most people fail today. They ask themselves every morning, do I feel like it? That question destroys strength because it invites mood to control action. Musashi removed the question completely. He trained on good days, he trained on bad days. He trained when tired, bored, or frustrated. Not because he loved suffering, but because repetition removes resistance. Kenji struggled here. He trained when inspired, rested when unmotivated, restarted when guilt appeared. This cycle kept him average. Musashi's consistency created something else, reliability. His body responded the same way whether conditions were ideal or hostile, and reliability under pressure is what makes someone dangerous. This is why Musashi emphasized routine, not variety, not excitement. Routine hardens behavior. When action becomes automatic, fear loses leverage. Kenji slowly realized the truth. Motivation was not missing, it was the problem. He had been waiting to feel ready. Musashi trained until readiness was irrelevant. That is the shift. You don't become strong by feeling strong. You become strong by acting consistently until strength becomes normal. In the next section, you'll see how Musashi trained perception itself, why awareness mattered more than aggression, and how mastering attention made him unbeatable even against stronger opponents. Musashi did not rely on force. He relied on perception. Most people think strength is about how hard you strike. Musashi believed it was about what you notice. In combat, power means nothing if you react late. Musashi trained his attention until it became sharper than speed. He watched breathing, foot placement, tiny shifts in balance. While others focused on winning, Musashi focused on reading. This made him terrifying because perception creates time. When you see earlier, you move sooner, and when you move sooner, you don't need brute strength. Kenji had never trained this. His attention scattered easily. Phone notifications, background noise, internal chatter. So under pressure, his awareness collapsed. Musashi trained the opposite. He removed distraction completely. Long periods of silence, single-task training, one movement repeated endlessly. This was not mindfulness for peace, it was awareness for survival. Musashi believed a divided mind creates delayed action, so he trained single-point focus, one opponent, one movement, one moment. Nothing else existed. This is why anger, fear, and doubt could not touch him. They require attention to grow. Musashi starved them by narrowing focus. Kenji began to understand something painful. He wasn't weak, he was scattered, and scattered people lose. When attention becomes sharp, confidence appears naturally, not because you believe in yourself, but because you see clearly. Clarity is strength. In the next section, you'll learn the final transformation, how Musashi removed ego completely, and why letting go of the need to prove yourself is what makes true power permanent. Musashi's greatest strength was not skill. It was the absence of ego. Most people fight to prove something, to look capable, to protect an image, and that need quietly ruins them. Because the moment you care about how you appear, you stop seeing what is actually happening. Musashi removed this completely. He did not fight for reputation. He did not train to impress. He did not attach his identity to winning. This made him free. Kenji struggled with this more than anything else. He wanted results people could see. He wanted validation. He wanted confirmation that he was becoming strong. Musashi would have called this noise, because ego divides attention. Part of you watches the opponent, part of you watches yourself, and divided attention is weakness. Musashi trained himself to disappear from his own mind. No self-talk, no internal commentary, no concern for outcome, only the task. This is why defeat did not break him and victory did not intoxicate him. Nothing touched his identity. And when identity is untouched, emotion loses leverage. Fear cannot threaten you. Anger cannot provoke you. Failure cannot define you. This is the final barrier most people never cross. They want strength while protecting ego. Musashi chose strength by sacrificing ego. Kenji began to feel the shift. He stopped narrating his progress, stopped comparing himself to others, stopped asking if he was doing it right. He just did the work. And for the first time, progress accelerated, not because he pushed harder, but because nothing was in the way. In the final section, you'll see how Musashi's method applies directly to your life today, why modern systems keep you divided and weak, and how to begin integrating body, mind, and discipline into one unbreakable structure. Musashi's method was never about becoming aggressive. It was about becoming whole. A body that can endure discomfort, a mind that can stay clear under pressure, a discipline that does not depend on emotion. When these three are integrated, strength becomes natural, not forced, not dramatic, stable. This is why Musashi's method still works today. Modern life keeps you divided on purpose. Your body is underused, your mind is overstimulated, your discipline is optional. And optional discipline always collapses. You don't need to become extreme. You don't need to live in caves or fight duels, but you do need integration. Train your body until stress feels familiar. Build routines that run without motivation. Narrow your attention until distraction loses power. Remove ego so emotion stops hijacking decisions. When body, mind, and discipline move together, confidence appears without effort. Fear fades because your system can handle pressure. Anger fades because nothing touches your identity. Doubt fades because action no longer waits for permission. This is the strongest version of yourself. Not loud, not emotional. Reliable. Most people chase intensity. Musashi built continuity, and continuity always wins. This is stillness and direction, not motivation, not shortcuts. Integration. And once you are integrated, nothing in the world needs to be proven because strength is no longer something you perform. It is simply how you move.